Hi there, my name is Jeff Weir. I'm a core assurance associate with PwC. I've been with the firm for about 3 months now, so still pretty fresh. And while PwC has a lot of competitive advantages within the marketplace, I thought that I'd talk a little bit today about Costco. So while I might be fresh with PwC, I've actually worked for Costco for the last 5 years. Now, Costco has a lot of different competitive advantages within the retail space. One of these is buying power. So Costco sells in bulk, as you might be aware. So what that means is that we can buy truckloads of product versus a pallet or two at a time. So these truckloads, let's say we're buying peanut butter. Costco is going to buy three truckloads of peanut butter, and that truckload is going to be sent to a Costco depot, which tends to be in a central location within a region. So this truckload of peanut butter shows up to the depot, and then it's unloaded at the Costco depot. And then from there, the depot separates it out and it goes on a truck going to different warehouses. So there might be peanut butter on that truck. There might be water. There might be toilet paper. There might be paper towel. There might be clothing. So we can send these Costco trucks to individual warehouses, but we can receive truckloads of one product. And by receiving truckloads of one product, we get bulk discounts. And so we're able to pass those discounts on to our members. And so that buying power is tremendous. If we need a different size container of something, Costco can get it because the vendors don't want to lose the Costco account. One common example I use for this is Folgers coffee. So the Folgers coffee canister that we sell at Costco is huge. It's really big. You are not going to find that size of container at a Weir or a Target or a Walmart. You might find a 2-pack or a value pack or something that it might be equivalent or the same, but it's not going to be the same because Costco has an agreement with all of its vendors that it sells unique items. So yeah, Weir, Walmart, Target, they all sell Folgers coffee, of course, but they're not going to sell it in the same size container, and they're not going to sell at the same price. So that one of their competitive advantages is through their buying power. Another competitive advantage that Costco has is through their employees. So a common competitive advantage among successful companies is how well they treat their employees. Successful companies don't treat their employees badly because they aren't going to be successful unless they have good employees. So one of the ways that Costco does this is by treating their employees really well. The Costco minimum wage is $15 an hour. So regardless of what state you work in, when you start at Costco, your starting pay is going to be at $15 an hour. So with that, the medical benefits are unmatched. Like I mentioned before, I've worked for Costco for the last 5 years, so I've been on Costco insurance. Whenever I've had to go to the doctor, I've heard it 3 or 4 times now. Going to the doctor, they ask what insurance I have, and I tell them, and they say, "Wow, you have better insurance than I do." They work at a doctor's office. I work for a grocery store. So Costco's insurance is crazy. Their pay is amazing. They do 401k matching. So for retirement, they offer vacation and sick pay. When I first started, you got so many days a year of sick pay. Now it's accumulated by hours worked. So it ends up being like 2.5 hours for 80 hours worked or whatever, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up really fast. Additionally, you get a week of vacation after working for Costco for a year, 2 weeks after 2 years, and 3 weeks after 5. And then it gets more and more as you work longer and longer. But they offer other awesome services to support their employees, and that's how they're able to retain employees. And the more that they can retain employees, the less training that they have to do. And ultimately, you're going to end up with employees that know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. So when a member goes in there and they're asking questions like, "Hey, when's this going to be back in?" or "Where's this at?" Those employees are going to know the answer to those questions. And ultimately, that is a competitive advantage over a Walmart, where you might walk in there and this happened to me more than once. "Hey, Sam, can you tell me where this product's at?" "Oh, no, sorry, that's not my department. I have no idea." don't you work here? You won't ever hear a Costco employee tell you that. And if you do hear a Costco employee tell you that, they probably aren't going to be working there for very long, because Costco has higher standards than that. Another competitive advantage Costco has is through their products offered. So like I mentioned earlier, they have buying power. With that, like, it kind of goes hand in hand with the buying power that Jif is willing to mark, like back to the peanut butter example, Jif peanut butter might mark down their product a little bit for Costco, because they know that Costco isn't going to be selling 18 different kinds of peanut butter. They're going to be selling like 2 or 3, where you go to a Weir and there's 18 different kinds of peanut butter. Jif alone has, 8 different varieties, which is great. And, for those people who like different varieties of peanut butter, they should shop at Weir. But for those families who have 8 kids, or they're feeding a church family, you just need one. And so by limiting the competition within the store, so we're not selling 3 different kinds of peanut butter, or we are selling 3. We're not selling 18. Sorry. We're not selling 18 different kinds of peanut butter. So Jif isn't competing with all these other brands. So when they're not competing with all these other brands, they know that they're going to sell more. So they're willing to discount their price less, because ultimately they're going to end up with more in sales. So those are 3 solid competitive advantages that Costco has. And I guess one last competitive advantage that they have is their brand building. So I don't know if you've ever noticed this or not, but you'll see commercials for Walmart on TV, or even Weir. Target has lots of commercials. Home Depot, any retail store, they spend a lot on advertising. Costco doesn't. Costco doesn't spend any money on advertising. You won't ever see a Costco commercial, at least not in the time that I've worked there. And one of the reasons this is because Costco has a competitive advantage on word of mouth. There's Facebook groups. There's individual advertising that Costco doesn't end up paying for. So by not paying for advertising, that's just one less overhead expense that Costco eliminates in order to pass those cost savings on to our members. And ultimately, those cost savings are what drive our success.